Hi, everybody. I'm back. Another Facebook Live today. My name is Melanie Figaro, and I'm with Center for Discovery Eating Disorder Programs and Discovery Mood and Anxiety Mental Health Program. And so this afternoon, my guest is Emily Walkley. Do you want to introduce yourself, Emily?
Sure. So I'm Emily Walkley. I'm the program director at Center for Discovery's outpatient facility in Del Mar, so in the San Diego area. Been in the field for about 8 years now, which sounds kind of crazy to me, probably pales in comparison to some. But yeah.
So I'll tell you a little bit about Emily. I've had the opportunity to get to know you. And so I would say for me, you are magnetic. When I'm around you, and I can tell people are drawn to you. People want to be around you. They start smiling when they see you. And there are times when I'm like, oh, I know you have to work, but I want to hang out. And can I put you in my pocket? Like, can we have a pocket size Emily version?
I'll take
So
it.
pretty special.
I
And the
start
clients are
incorporating that into my intro of myself.
what? Being in someone's
That I'm so magnetic that I should be bite-sized and able to be carried everywhere.
yeah, I mean, let's do it. Let's make it happen. You'd make everybody's day. Um, all right, so we have a good topic today for those people who are curious about virtual eating disorder treatment. The title of our topic is A Day in the Life of Virtual Eating Disorder Treatment at PHP IOP Levels of Care. And Emily has a success story for us.
Yeah, I think it's like a series of questions on everyone's mind is like, how is this whole telehealth thing working? I know a lot of folks in the field are doing telehealth via private practice, but it's hard to kind of wrap your head around maybe what a program looks like when it's running virtually. And I'll preface all of this by saying I was skeptical about it too. It was not something that I wanted to have to do. I wanted to stay, running program in person as long as we possibly could because of my own fears about how virtual programming would run. Would the clients be able to feel connected? Would the team of therapists and dietitians and everyone else be able to kind of get at the issues at hand in the most effective way in virtual? And I will say, as you know, I'm shocked at how well it's going, and how well people have been able to seem to connect, and the work that's been able to be done even through virtual programming. Um, so I guess the questions that come up most often since we've started this are around like, what the heck does the day even look like?
Mhm.
Because when we're running program in person, our clients drive up to the facility, park their cars, walk in, and go about the day as we have it laid out in the schedule, right? But as it is now, it's like they start their day by logging in. So there's a bit of an odd transition. It's not like they're taking a step back out of their regular lives for the 6.5 hours. They're like still in their own environment for most of our clients, whether that's home or elsewhere. Some of our clients are logging in from their cars to ensure they can get privacy. So there's all sorts of creative ways that people are figuring out to make this work. But there is kind of an interesting transition point at the beginning of the day when folks are first logging in. So with our program in particular, our clients are still attending program at the same frequency and relatively the same duration each day. Our PHP clients are here 6 days a week, here, virtually here, 6 days a week, for 6.5 hours a day. Our IOP clients are here 5 days a week for 3 to 4.5 hours a day. So not super different in terms of the amount of time they're getting with our clinical staff. A typical day here looks like our clients logging in at 11:45 with their lunches kind of prepped and ready to go based on their individualized meal plans. Our team does a little bit of an intro with them, reviews confidentiality, expectations for the program day, has the clients check in with all of their identifying info so that we can ensure nobody random somehow got a hold of these links that we send out, which are HIPAA compliant and secure and all of that. And then we start checking our clients' plates to make sure that what they've put together meets their meal plan. I think that's where the most questions are coming up from outside professionals is like, how the heck do you know the clients are like eating what they're supposed to be eating? That was my biggest concern about all of this too, honestly. So our staff has been, thoroughly trained, obviously, to know how to check our clients' meal plans here in person. It doesn't look super different when we're doing it on the screen, surprisingly. I know it's taken some of our clients a while to warm up to the idea that they're kind of like holding up their plates and walking us through what their starch components are and their proteins, et cetera. But it's one of those things where I'm sure everyone has experienced. It's just kind of become the norm. It is our new way of living for right now. And so we're asking all of the same probing questions that we would be if our clients were here in person, probably asking more, in fact, because, sometimes we need to ask the clients to push back their device a little bit so we can see, that they're not like feeding the dog their lunch and stuff like that. It's like we're learning what to look out for every single day as we're kind of going through it. The clients all sit together virtually on the screen with our staff to eat their lunches and their snacks. So no difference there. They still have the same amount of time within which they're to complete their food. We do have time for supplementation for our clients who are struggling a bit more. Some questions do come up around like, well, how do you supplement clients, virtually? That's where a lot of the prep work comes ahead of admission. So whether we're working with residential facilities who are stepping clients down to us or working with families ahead of their clients stepping into this program, we aim to prepare the home to be such that they can support not only just participating in a virtual program, but specifically around those opportunities for supplementation. We're also newly able to provide some of our clients who are food insecure or have other barriers to getting adequate food, given the circumstances or given their particular barriers. We're able to get that to them to support their meal plan compliance as well. Other interesting things about kind of a day in PHP and IOP, again, clients are getting, little breaks between groups and meals and snacks to kind of decompress and not do therapy for a second. But as is the nature of any PHP IOP, we kind of hit the ground running when the day starts because we've only got them for so many hours a day, even though it seems like forever for a lot of them, I know. But we try to jam pack everything in that we can so we make the most of their time with us. We do offer sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, what does the movement piece look like?
In terms of their opportunities for like joyful movement and exercise?
Yes.
Yeah, sure. So that's where a lot of our clients have gotten creative as well, for better or for worse, right? It's actually kind of to our benefit, I think, that so much in our community is closed right now. Because for our clients who may struggle with, compulsive exercise or compensatory exercise, they don't have access to gyms right now. Again, for better or for worse, right? So we are seeing a lot more opportunities for joyful movement. But our clients do still have the same recommendations they would have if we were working with them in person in terms of their level of medical stability, their compliance with their meal plan, all playing into what the recommendation is for their level of movement. But because we have to get creative with where we're allowed to go outside and who we're allowed to be with, that has posed a bit of a barrier for some of our clients who are struggling more with that exercise piece.
Yeah. And what about the expressive arts piece?
Yeah, I mean, that's my favorite group that we run here. And so I was like, well, how are we going to do art with them virtually? Most importantly, it's not. But our team at Center for Discovery came up with a lot of fantastic ways to still incorporate our expressive arts group, such that clients can participate from their home, from their car, from wherever they're zooming in from, right? With like whatever resources you would find just in somebody's home. A piece of paper and a pencil is usually like all we're needing right now for our expressive arts groups. We're not expecting anyone to be decoupaging at home or birdhouse or anything. Like, it's just not happening. And so like in the treatment world, I think it's so much mimicking like what we're experiencing in everyday life, whereas we just have to use what we've got and figure it out and still get the most out of it that we can.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, so do you want to tell us about your success story?
Yeah, I think there may be some of my team who is on watching this right now, and they'll probably have a good idea about who I'm sharing about. We have an adolescent client right now who has previously left treatment before against medical advice, against clinical advice, who has struggled immensely in the past to comply with meal plans, comply with recommendations of all sorts, really. And again, I'm not somebody who felt super strongly about virtual being, as effective as it has been. And again, been proven wrong over and over again, especially with this client who is somebody who I think many of her barriers in participating effectively in the past for in-person programs have been due to her difficulties with her attachment, difficulties with leaving her family every day to be here with all of us. As great as we are, we're not her family and we're not who she's attached to. And so this is somebody who has been doing incredibly well because she's been able to participate virtually from her home near the people that she feels close to and safe with. And that has actually served to remove the barriers for her. So she's certainly got work to do with some of the attachment stuff, right? And with her anxiety around that. But for right now, in terms of her eating disorder recovery, it's like, I think virtual programming has been the difference maker for her. So it's been really inspiring to see that. It's proven me wrong, like I said, over and over again, and I'm happy to be wrong about this. And I think her progress, honestly, has stunned a lot of clinicians who have worked with her in the past. And it's really incredible to see somebody be able to thrive under these circumstances versus just trying to get by.
Yeah, absolutely. So speaking of the family piece, I've heard that you get, it's actually a great opportunity to really see the dynamic in their home. Is that the case?
Yeah. I mean, we really do have a lens into somebody's home life more so than we do when our clients are coming into us, because we have no option but to do virtual sessions with our clients and their family and loved ones, whoever that might include. We definitely get to see some interesting dynamics that are helpful to be revealed to us because we can include them in the treatment process in some way. I mean, just imagine if you're doing a virtual session with your doctor, with your therapist from your own home. It's like a part of your life that they wouldn't otherwise get to see, that you wouldn't always think to share with them, like these little nuances about it, because it's like, that's just the water you swim in, right? But when somebody from the outside gets to see it, it's like, oh, I get it. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, my therapist, that's the only place we have to meet is in my bedroom.
Yeah.
It's surreal, but it is kind of exciting, and I've heard that with our kiddos at our mental health programs, they get to say like, hey, here's my, favorite stuffed animal, and they get to show, our clinicians a little bit more about how they live.
Totally. And I think too, like I'm getting to meet a lot of our clients' pets.
Yep.
That get to serve as tools during this time when somebody has unexpectedly logged out of group because they're struggling with X, Y, or Z that may be talked about. I get to say, hey, why don't you go find your dog, bring them into the room with you and log back in, and you've got your buddy right there who always makes you feel safe. Can't do that in person, right? So it's revealing a lot of new tools that can't be translated really unless we were doing virtual.
Yeah. And I think what is really important that the message that we get across today for our Facebook Live for me is for those people who are barely hanging on, and they're just like waiting until it's over and we don't have an end in sight. Mm-hmm. And so do you have any like Emily Magic clinical advice that you would give them if they're a little bit on the fence and white knuckling it basically?
Yeah, I mean, I get it. I totally understand why somebody wouldn't want to like enter into treatment under the circumstances that we're in right now. But there is no real timeline on any of this, right? Unfortunately. Yeah. And so it's actually the same suggestion I would give somebody if we, weren't under kind of stay-at-home orders, which is like go seek treatment right now. Like right now is the best time. Mm-hmm. No matter what like the barriers feel like they may be, you're gonna, if you don't seek treatment now, you're going to look back 6 months from now thinking, shoot, I wish I had started back then. And there's going to be something else that feels like the next barrier to get in the way from you seeking it then. Yeah. So just dive in right now, especially because maybe we're under stay-at-home orders, at least in California, right? It's like not to say that everyone has ample time to just dedicate to their recovery, but now might actually be the ideal time to do it.
Mm-hmm. I agree. That's great advice. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So for those of you who, may be inspired from this Facebook Live to seek treatment, you can see, do I look like I'm pointing at it?
Yep.
You can never know. The admissions line, and then you also have my email if you feel like that would be an easier first step to reach out.
Mm-hmm.
We're working on some Facebook Lives for the next couple weeks. So if you also have topic ideas, please email them to me. For sure, Emily's coming back. I'll be sending her a contract for the next 6 months.
Uh-huh.
That didn't sound very convincing. Anyway, thank you so much for taking the time. I know you're super busy, so I really appreciate it. And you're just awesome.
Absolutely. Anytime. 6 months.
All right. Yay. Okay. Have a good one. Bye, everybody.
Bye.